Hello, welcome again to another edition of DuncanR2N's Wall of Games. Today I'm going to just zoom in on some more Nintendo stuff actually. Go through the GameCube stuff here. So zooming in on this section here. I'm not going to name everything here that we got, but I'll kind of go through some of what I think are the highlights, I guess, if you will. One of which being here, this may seem like an odd title, Darkened Sky. It's interesting because it's an actual Skittles tie-in. The game itself, you actually collect Skittles throughout the game, but it was never really marketed as such and didn't really go anywhere, unfortunately, but it was kind of an interesting little game because of what it was. You can see, based on what I showed yesterday, we do have some the continuing series, the 1080 here, F-Zero again here. Of course, moving on down, the Legend of Zelda games. Collector's Edition, Wind Walker and Four Swords. Luigi's Mansion, one of the first, I think it was actually a release title in the US. Then we got all the 4 Mario Party games on the Nintendo. 4, 5, and 6, or Nintendo GameCube, I should say. 4, 5, 6, and 7. The remake of Metal Gear that came out on the GameCube, and it's kind of an odd one because it's the only one that ever hit the GameCube, and I don't think, unless you count the handhelds, no other Metal Gear game has ever come out on a Nintendo console. Of course, the Metroid Prime games, which was the lovely first-person edition of those games. Moving on down, I've got all the Resident Evil versions. This was sort of when I started looking at getting all the Resident Evil games. I kind of picked this console because it seemed like I could get, well, at the time, all of them on this one console. I've since moved to the PS3 for the follow-on titles. I got Skies of Arcadia Legends, and you saw Crazy Taxi back at the beginning. I got both of those, and, well, actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to back up. Because I also got Ikaruga here. I got those titles before I had a Dreamcast or even thought about getting a Dreamcast. I have since got a Dreamcast, but I haven't gone back and gotten some of these titles yet. I'd like to get the original Skies of Arcadia, and actually there's something else. Oh yeah, Evolution, the 2 Evolution games. I've got the Evolution Worlds. It seemed like when the Dreamcast died, a lot of the titles made their way over onto Nintendo's platform. I guess Sega, for whatever reason, has a good relationship with Nintendo. It's probably why we see Sonic showing up in all the Sonic and Mario games. Soul Calibur, I actually got Soul Calibur 2 on all of the platforms that it came out on, Xbox, PS2, and of course GameCube. And on the GameCube version, they each had a guest character, and on the GameCube version it was Link from Zelda. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, I don't care what you say, that's actually a pretty good game. So also was the one for the movie. Had a lot of influences from other platforms, but it was actually not too shabby in its own right. I remember seeing this Rogue Squadron when the GameCube first came out, seeing it in the store, thinking that, wow, that's an amazing looking game. Moving on down here, got the other Rogue Squadron game. Super Mario Sunshine, probably one of my very least favorite Mario games ever. I just did not like using Flood. I hated Flood's voice, and I hated just the controls for it. Why they would not actually put the ability to flip the up-down look, it drove me nuts through the entire game. Smash Brothers, Tak, got Tales of Symphonia, the only Tales game that came out on the GameCube. And I would have got it on the PS2 had they released the PS2 version on it, but since it was only released here, that's where I got it. Beautiful Joe, and then some Wario World and going on with Wave Race, Blue Storm, and Extreme G, and that's about it. And then there's Batman, and we'll cover the Wii next time. Alrighty, thanks for viewing.